similar to object-oriented feminism, there's been kind of a concept that I've been thinking collectively with other people around, and it's a term that I've coined called artificial ignorance. So I have been sort of writing around that. I've been organizing panels around that. I've been making artworks that kind of fit under that umbrella. And the idea is basically that if we want to understand AI technology, intelligence is the wrong metaphor. So I'm thinking about how not only do many AI technologies produce ignorance and are produced out of ignorance, but they require also ignorance more specifically. Technically, they require ignorance to work. And that's the ignorance of the shades of gray when algorithms classify. You have to put something into one category, to make a call and to say, like, it has to be in this category, not that category, right? Which means you ignore the messy part, right? And the messy part is like the stuff that artists are really interested in. I actually think it's an extension of the same human exceptionalist hubris that leads humans to insist that they are subjects, not objects, that leads humans to disavow objects from the panoply of potential solidarity mates and comrades, right? And that, you know, I think it's that same hubris that makes us think that the technology that we are developing in our own image is intelligent. It's right. It's veiling what's really at the core, which is that same Enlightenment model of the human, right? Which is exclusionary. A project that I'm developing through a residency at the University of Michigan that is on hold. But it's on pause. It's on pandemic pause. But it is developing a robotic installation that turns driverless chairs, turns office chairs into driverless cars. So we have driverless chairs. So the project is called Anonymous Autonomous because it's looking at the anonymity of being networked, and thinking also about how office work, like creative work, people who sit in white collar, people who sit in rolling chairs, are also sort of trafficking in that same kind of Kerouacian, if that's the right term, spirit of independence and freewheeling free thinkers and that kind of thing. What actually I now think is happening is, even though, you know, we're kind of all just sort of waiting for things to reopen and work to continue on this project, my thinking around the project has changed a bit during the pandemic, because I think also what we're seeing now, you know, what the installation looks like is it's a black floor. It has these office chairs that they're empty. No one sits in them, and they just kind of very, very, very slowly, decelerated speed, they kind of navigate this black floor. And the way they do that is through a computer vision system that looks for sheets of white paper on the black floor and avoids the white. So it's like driving within the lines, right? And they have LiDAR sensors so they don't run into each other and things like this. But what the installation kind of starts to look like over time is this sort of disintegrated office place. So it's these stacks, reams of blank printer paper that are kind of cascading onto the floor, empty chairs kind of wandering around with no one in them. And I kind of now feel like I'm developing this pandemic landscape of the abandoned office, because there's a real question about, like, what will happen at the end of the pandemic. You know, will people return to office work? Will people continue to work remotely? So many projections are saying that that people will, like, many people will continue to work from home. So I'm very interested in that kind of, in what that working from home means for urban architecture, means for these ideas about density that are, so much a part of, as a New Yorker, they're so much a part of my life.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where I'm at right now.